Hello and welcome to a different video. I'm going to be explaining I'm going to be ranting. I'm going to be predicting, analyzing, and reacting. Well, I'm not really reacting. I watched the Nintendo Switch reveal. I'm a little bit old to the train, but I want to give my input on my belief on Nintendo Switch. Being a person who grew up, I literally grew up on Amiga computer, Windows 95, then Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64. I grew up with Nintendo. So no one should try to call me like a Sony fanboy, Microsoft fanboy, PC fanboy. I am a gamer, and I play and just understand and observe the industry. So with that, I have a bit of an analysis on Nintendo's situation. I want to share it in terms of predictions and what I expect from Nintendo. If you're a Nintendo fan, I'm unfortunately going to have to tell you, but this is probably going to be a negative video. So if you get your panties in a twist by the words I'm going to tell you, or my theories, predictions, and my predicament of Nintendo, leave the video now. You're not going to like it. It's doom and gloom. So leave now, before it's too late. You're still here. Okay. So I'm going to continue and talk about what I believe Nintendo needs to do or what they have fucked up. I wrote a bit of a script this time. I have 4 pages, believe it or not. I wrote 2,500 word script. I'll be going ad lib and reading the script just to make it so I don't go off on a tangent. There still will be probably me having vocal fragmentation, sentence drag-ons. I'm not good with that shit. So bear in mind, this isn't fucking professional. It's me ranting. So anyone who's like, hey, Neco, you're really bad at arguing. Fuck you. Also, my headset turned off. Okay. So, number one thing Nintendo needs to do with Nintendo Switch, and I watched the trailer and I get everything. 1, the price point has to be $299 or lower, preferably for Nintendo so they don't lose money and they make a profit. $250. If they can make it $199, it'll sell like hotcakes. That's the first thing they have to worry about. If it's over $299 because they're trying to make it so... Like, they paired up with NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is known to be overpriced little fucks. And that's why Sony and Microsoft went with AMD. Because AMD charges less and gives more quality and bang for your buck. No NVIDIA fanboy shit over here, folks. That is just 100% facts when it comes to AMD versus NVIDIA. Second thing. There's reasons... Third-party support won't matter. I'm going to be reading this script. All right, I'm going to go reading a bit of my script because I wrote this when I was like in the morning and I just got home from work. So I'm just going to read my script and try to explain it if I wrote it down shitty because it's just like, it's a rough copy. So basically I said, reasons third-party support won't matter is they're with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox and have been since the N64 days, where any hardcore gamer who wants to play third-party games prefer and already have an Xbox or PlayStation 4. If third-party support on Nintendo Switch relies on porting games over to the Switch, people won't just buy a Nintendo console when many already have a PS4 or PlayStation or Xbox One. So I got what I was trying to write there. Yeah, I have to tell myself, oh yeah, I remember why I wrote that now. What I'm saying is, when you think of like the glory days, the glory Nintendo days, N64, we had so many third-party games from like Rare, and like I don't even know if Nintendo owned Rare or Rare was just sort of second party to them before Microsoft bought them up. I don't know. But either way, there's tons of third-party games that made us so we didn't need Nintendo games to love the N64 and the Super Nintendo and the NES. So when we think of third-party games, it's all on Xbox, it's all on PlayStation. I can't see how third-party support would matter. Nintendo tried to prioritize that they have a shit ton of developers and publishers backing them up. Now, here's the problem. They're supporting Nintendo, but is it going to be first-party temporary exclusive deals, or is it going to be exclusive deals like, say, Bayonetta, which was like Nintendo helped pay for and it went on the console, or is it going to be brand new games, or they're going to help pay for porting jobs? If it's porting, then we can think of it like Batman Arkham City being ported to the Wii U, I think it was. It got like exclusive features on the controller, and it looked nice. It really did. But they had to invest money. into the Wii U to port an old game that has already been released and sold well on PlayStation 4 and Xbox. The problem I see here is, of course, no one's going to buy a Nintendo Switch just because it's on a controller and it has a PlayStation 4-like remote play. That's a problem. No one gives a fuck about remote play. I can't see Nintendo selling on this gimmick. It's going to be shitting on people's parade of hyping Nintendo, being like, oh yeah, it's a new gimmick, innovation, Nintendo's so innovative. But it's like, Sony's already done that. It's remote play. It's the only thing is Sony failed at it, because to remote play you need a PlayStation Vita, which has ever since flopped, and the Vita of course is very costly, but they still did it first. So that's that. Next on the list about third party is, in order for Nintendo Switch to be popular, the third party support, Nintendo's going to have to get their hands on everything. Like they're going to have it so the third party games have to be exclusive and have to be killer apps. If it's not, we're going to just find them go on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One or the Scorpio or PlayStation Pro. Who the fuck needs Switch? It's just because it's basically Nintendo is prioritizing a hybrid of a console, of a handheld, of a mobile device, which is a bit problematic. It's sort of like Microsoft back in the days of Wii versus Xbox 360 versus PlayStation 3. Xbox tried to connect to the huge explosion of casual gamers that bought the Wii by them bringing Connectimals, avatars, Kinect, because they were trying to advertise and trying to lure over the Wii audience to Xbox. It didn't work. Microsoft have ever since given up on the Kinect. They tried to force it on us for 2 generations. They gave up. Why? Because it didn't work. The Wii crowd, casual gamers, are unpredictable. We can't manipulate them as a business, as a business point of view. If you're a business guy and you're like working for Nintendo, you're like, how are we supposed to reattain the Wii sales, like the 150 million units sold? How are we supposed to get those sales back on a new console? They can't. Because it's a split competition between Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo now. It's shared, and they can't take it like they did in N64, which is why GameCube did not sell well. It was the beginning of the end, sort of, for Nintendo in terms of taking all the shares. When N64 versus PlayStation 1, they were a good, sizable unit sold per. It was good, healthy. I'm ignoring Sega, sorry. Nintendo and Sony, PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64, they had great third-party support, they had great first-party support, they split it between each other, they were rivals, but they were both healthy. And now in this generation, we have Xbox, who's taken a huge chunk, and a lot of them are first-person shooter lovers, Call of Duty lovers, or racing lovers with Forza, or Gears of War. And then on Sony, you have RPGs, you have miscellaneous things, like a bunch of everything. For what do you have left for Nintendo? They may have their exclusives, but here's the biggest stereotype, and why I sort of hate Nintendo fanboys, is Nintendo fanboys are sort of the doom and the curse of Nintendo. Why? Because they don't buy third-party games anymore. You look at Bayonetta 2, for example, and on the Wii you had Okami, you had Mad World made by Platinum Games. Platinum Games makes great fucking games. There's so many exclusives. What else? Red Steel. I'm trying to remember Wii games that were exclusives, been awesome. Red Steel 2, Mad World. There's so many games you could probably name off that just didn't sell because they weren't made by Nintendo. The biggest stereotype about Nintendo fanboys is they want games, but then when Nintendo strikes a fucking deal with EA, Ubisoft, and they're like, oh hey, can you make us an exclusive game on the Wii or Wii U? We have 140 million units sold. And it doesn't sell. Then Nintendo fanboys don't buy the third-party games because Nintendo didn't make it. Bayonetta 2, great game. It wouldn't exist without Nintendo, and it barely, after 2 years, sold 1 million units. Which is okay, but it's not great. it just isn't really good at all. That sold better than most third-party games anyways. It's probably just the hype because Nintendo was so involved that it even sold that well to begin with. Everything else that's just like EA made, that got exclusively put over. You look at the sales for Batman Arkham City, great game, a little old, but ported so Nintendo fans can enjoy Batman games if they never have before, or the Arkham series. Let me double check VG charts just to reinforce how much that game sold on the Wii U. Okay, looking at VG charts, rough estimation. It says global 0.38 million, so 380k give or take. For every other console, of course, like Xbox 360, it would sell 4.7 million. You could argue, of course, that it's just whoever wanted to play the game already has, which goes back to my point of if people want a third-party game and it goes on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and it happens to go on Nintendo, people are going to buy it for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox first, not Nintendo. People buy a Nintendo console for Nintendo games. So I can't see how Nintendo's going to thrive in a third-party market, even if they do promise that so many developers and publishers are going to support them. The reasons being, if they buy support, the Nintendo fans, the gamers, the hardcore gamers, they won't buy them. And that will just make it so people like EA and Activision stop supporting them again. And if they do that again, I don't think Nintendo can regain their trust. They lost, like, all their partners, all their business all their business partners of making games on Wii U. When you have even Activision and Ubisoft and EA saying, no, I don't want to make games in your console on Wii U or the Wii because they don't expect to sell anything, that's huge. That's a problem. And you think it's just gone away just because a new console's out and Nintendo's promising that this time will be different? What was that Far Cry 3 Vaz quote? In the definition of insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over and over again, thinking that this time's going to be different. This is exactly that. It's a new console, so they do get a fresh start, but what's changed? Nothing! It's still Nintendo. It's still Nintendo's hardcore gamers that are a problem, because PlayStation fanboys, or PlayStation hardcore gamers, or casual gamers, or Xboxes, they buy third-party games. Look, Batman sales. It's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox. It'll sell great. If you put it on Nintendo's console, if it was made at the exact same time, launched at the same time, looked exactly the same, I promise you, it would not sell well on Nintendo's console. Because it's just not for the demographic. And the Nintendo fanboys and console hardcore gamers, whether fanboy or not, only buy Nintendo games. That is the hugest hurdle that Nintendo can't deal with. They can't. They're sort of, Nintendo fanboys are like ingrates. They're obsessively fucking loyal. And they're really docile and passive, but as soon as you mention or criticize Nintendo, they're fucking angry as fuck. So, I mean, I'm expecting a lot of negative or down votes, but that is the absolute truth. As soon as Wii was bought, and they bought Super Smash Bros., and they bought any other Nintendo game, Wii collected dust. Wii U, games would go on it that Nintendo would make, and then it collected dust. They don't buy Nintendo consoles for non-Nintendo games. So all these developers and publishers from software, all those on the list they named, they won't matter. They just ultimately won't. Alright, let's talk about the controller a little bit. I believe console gaming, and this is the biggest thing, with PlayStation, again, having already done remote play, but failed at doing it, PlayStation's not good at making gimmicks, unlike Nintendo, so to speak. I mean, you could bring up Virtua Boy easily, but biggest thing is, when you think of console gaming, what is the first thing that comes to mind? The couch. Couch gaming is console gaming. I gotta hold on. I'm gonna move my camera so I'm more looking at the camera. I'm gonna be looking at my script and the camera at my own face too. So my eyes are gonna be everywhere. But what you see in console gaming is the couch, where think of it like casual versus hardcore versus a fanboy, where either you get home from work and you're tired, or you get home from school or you just wake up early in the morning and it's a summer vacation, you're going to sit on the couch, you're going to turn on your console, and you're going to play some good games. You go to PlayStation 4, a person will want to sit on the couch, relax, put their feet up from their busy afternoon, busy day, busy time at work, and they're going to play some Uncharted 4. Nintendo, same thing. People don't want to be active. Console gaming is about being a lazy fuck and sitting on a fucking couch. So the idea that Nintendo is trying to market sort of like the Wii, and also to remind people it is like a hybrid of mobile and a handheld. The problem is they're trying to attract a huge market. The mobile market is huge. It's also cancer because it's a plethora of shitty fucking mobile apps, microtransaction horse shit. So if they're going to be dabbling in mobile games, mobile quick games, and it's going to be another topic I have to bring up, they're not going to do it successfully. Why? People are going to see Nintendo Switch not as a handheld, not as a mobile game. They're going to see it as a console. When they use console, even if Nintendo doesn't call it a console, whether they do or not, I don't know. But people who will call it a console are going to create a stigma for it. It will be a linguistic kill shot that will butcher Nintendo's attempt at trying to attract the mobile crowd. Reasoning being, when you think console, you think couch gaming. You think PlayStation, you think Xbox. When you think Nintendo, you think Mario. You think of their software, not of their gimmicks, the functionality, what it can do for you, or like Wii shit. When you think Wii, you think, hey, Wii Fit, or you think that game where you fling the remote around. That's what a casual gamers think of. We can't think of a broader market or demographic of consumers without taking in part what will attract the casual gamers. Hardcore gamers, easy to piece. Hardcore gamers will all buy a Nintendo console. That's not a problem. The problem is, roughly, I would argue, hardcore gamers for each console, roughly to me, are like 30 million. When you take 30 million Xbox 360, 30 million PlayStation 4, 30 million Nintendo. All of them can have a 30 million who will buy multiple consoles, one console, but roughly 30 million will be the hardcore demographic of each console, shared or not shared. The thing is that Nintendo and everyone else wants to try to get is the casual market. The casual market, I'd honestly say, is like 100 million, and then some. We don't know the number. We don't know how many there are. We don't know the max. We don't know anything in terms of like a business person trying to say, how do we attract the casual market? You can't. Casual markets can't be obtained, can't be predicted. You need to be a complete professional analyst who absolutely is going to create a tipping point, a phenomena. If you cannot think or strategize that within months or years, you're not going to make it due to Nintendo magic. That doesn't happen. In terms of business, there's a book called Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point. In that, it discusses a bunch of things, but mostly you want to think about the contagious factors. I'm trying to think about the 3 things in the book. I can't fucking remember, honestly. But there's just the... fuck you. There's... The tipping point is about the contagious factors and business decisions on what makes something popular, what makes things trendy, what makes things hip. Like, say, Crocs or rubber boots in fashion. When you think of that, and we came out at a perfect time and created a tipping point of casual gamers wanting to try it because it attracted the soccer moms, it attracted seniors, it attracted business people, it attracted companies, institutions, it attracted the fit people that want, or the fat people that wanted to get fit. It attracted the hardcore. It attracted everyone. Wii U couldn't do the same. Nintendo tried desperately by even calling it Wii U, so you have the soccer moms that'll ask, oh, hey, it has the word Wii in it, but it has a U in it, but it's made by the same person, obviously. Casual people, or casual parents, soccer moms, will not know who makes what consoles. We have to think of it in the terms of we as a hardcore gamer are a complete minority. The casual gamer are typically ignorant, don't do research, and we have to assume that they don't know anything about what's popular, what's in. They'll maybe watch like IGN reviews for their news outlet, but they won't do too much research. And that's what Nintendo's trying to reacquire. Back on the controller. Sorry, I went off on a tangent, apparently. The controller is a bit of a problem, as I was talking about mobile hybrids. Since consoles are about couch gaming, we have to think of it like this. Who the fuck's going to be getting up, sliding their shit in, bringing a fat tablet outside? They showed in the trailer that they walked with a dog with it in hand. But we have to think of it in a business perspective here of how this could be popular or successful and how it won't or can't be. The biggest reason why it can't be is when we think of the fast food industry, for instance. Like me in Canada and Tim Hortons, or let's think of a McDonald's fast food industry. When a person goes out, they're busy, they're trying to get to work, they want a coffee, they want some fast food. It's about speed, it's about mobile apps, it's about quick indigestion, it's about doing something within like 5 minutes and getting back to your task. When you think of mobile, you can go to Candy Crush, play 5 minutes of it, stop playing. Absolutely no remorse for turning off. Pausing's not a problem. You don't have to remember anything. It's just a quick little addictive game, a little app that you play. It's not going to be the same with Nintendo's console. I mean, they're trying to tap into it, but unless they have a Nintendo store that is full of shitty little apps that aren't like Zelda-sized games, who the fuck's going to be playing it like a mobile game? A mobile game is catchy and can get viral quickly like Flappy fucking Bird because it's a quick little shitty game that doesn't take long to play, it doesn't take an investment, it doesn't cost a lot, and it doesn't require a mental exertion of you trying to think, oh, I have to remember this and this map layout, this story element, this character's name. It's just you hop in, you hop the fuck out. Nintendo's console is about playing like PlayStation Vita on the go. Console gaming on the go. That's what the fucking PlayStation Vita was for, and it failed. It failed because the market isn't there. If you want to play console gaming, they'll play it at fucking home on the couch. You can't bring it with you. It was an interesting concept, and the Vita, of course, failed because it didn't accept homebrew. That much is obvious to anyone who actually knows what the fuck they're talking about. So, compare it with the Vita. Nintendo can't do it. We can compare it to, because mobile games, because the games are too fat and too long, too high quality, unless they have a crappy app store that sells little shitty games. If they do that, they're going to have a Nintendo store that's full of shit. Like, think of like the filtering job that they're not doing too great on with Mario Land Maker. I think I'm pronouncing that right. When you think of the filtration job, it's shit. Nintendo has a trouble filtering Mario maps that users create. Let's think of it like that. They're gonna have a shit problem. They won't have the staff to filter the kind of shit that you see on mobile. Like, the pay to win, the shitty RTS games, the shitty mini transactions. It's pure cancer. It's for peasants. And I'm not elitist here, but they're peasants. Fuck you. No, this isn't a contradiction. Fuck off. So, Nintendo trying to make it a PlayStation Vita, like, play on the go, it can't work. Play on the go, you won't. It's a console. People are going to label it a console, thus they'll think, I'm going to play it at home. They will never take it out of the little stupid hub thing and bring it outside. The hardcore gamers will try it, but it will be a trend that dies quickly. It will sell fast at first, yes. But I predict, and here's the prediction, it will sell a bit better than the Wii U, but I would roughly say, what did I even type here? I typed something. Wait. 10 million. Where is it? Wait. I'm finding it. My script. I know I have it somewhere. I argued I would honestly expect that it'd sell better than the Wii U, but just by 10 to 30 million more, if anything. The reason I say that is because I don't even know. That's just a prediction. They call it a gut instinct. Alright. I think that's actually basically all my fucking points. That's like 25 minutes of fucking ranting. I'm getting tired. Like, really, really tired. So, my summary, though, is it needs to be priced $2.99 or lower. They need to really have a killer app. A bunch of them. Like, think of Splatoon. Splatoon is a great game. I will not deny that. And, like, I will give due where credit is due. Splatoon is a great game, but the last time they created a first-party IP by their own studios was Pikmin. That was on the GameCube in, like, what, 2003? So it took them so long to make Splatoon. They keep milking Mario, Metroid, Zelda. I think I already said Zelda. Metroid, Zelda, Mario, all that shit. And they're still good games for sure. They're high quality, and Nintendo's known for quality. But Nintendo needs to make new killer IP, especially made by their own divisions, and not second party, not third party. Because I already discussed why I think third party is still going to be a problem. And it's going to be something we have to be sort of scared about for Nintendo, because if they lose Activision, EA, and the third party support again, it's gone for good. I mean, unless they have a bunch of killer apps, I don't know. Because porting PlayStation 4 games over to the Wii U, who's going to buy a console for ports? People will probably cherish and be like, oh yeah, but it's on a screen, but... Because people saw Skyrim on Nintendo Switch and people are like losing their fucking minds. But it's a old fucking game. Everyone who wanted the game probably has already played it. So the hype of saying, oh, Skyrim... But I mean, it's going to be on PlayStation 4. It's going to be on Xbox. It will sell better on those. Not simply because the hardware units won't have, like, it's a larger install base on the PlayStation 4, so it's to be expected. But it's because it's also a Nintendo console, and Nintendo fans look for Nintendo games, not Skyrim. It'll maybe sell... If I'm going to make a prediction on how much a Skyrim remastered would sell on Nintendo's console, I would say... 500K. Let's go with that. If I'm wrong, I mean, I don't mind. I'd rather be wrong, but in this situation, it's sort of like the presidential election, where this is the last chance people have for Nintendo to make a console. If it does not sell well, that's it. They'll lose their alliances and their trades, their business deals, their partnerships with developers and publishers. They will just finally put the nail in the coffin and say, Nintendo, you make fine consoles, buddy, but you can't sell our games on your hardware. We don't need to make games for your console anymore. We're going to ditch it again. And this time, they're not going to accept promises of Nintendo going to them and saying, please make games on Nintendo Switch. Your games will sell, we promise. Because unless they help pay for every single game that gets ported over, or exclusives, or temporary exclusives, that's a lot of money they have to use just to try to get an edge. But they're not going to get that edge. And the reasons just being that Nintendo fans want Nintendo games. If I'm proven wrong, I mean, we'll know instantly, because third-party games, if they get made, we'll see how much they sell. But I mean, being the tradition of Wii, GameCube, and Wii U, third-party games didn't sell well. It just didn't. But, I mean, yeah, that's basically it. It'll sell like hotcakes if they release a new Super Smash Bros. And the Metroid, and the Mario, and maybe a Mario Party. Mario Party on a Switch might be probably pretty cool. But I'm not sure how they're going to even have, like, multiple controllers set up. That's probably going to be costly. How the fuck are you supposed to have, like, 4 players playing Mario Party or Mario Kart on a Nintendo Switch? I'm guessing it's just because, like, they have regular controllers, thank fucking God. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know too much information. I don't even know the specs of the console, but it just has to be lower than $299. It has to be $250 or $199. That's basically it. That's all. I'm done ranting. Leave what you believe, what you disagree, what you agree with in the comments below. Keep things civil, as usual. Because as opinionated, or as much as I use anecdote or gut instinct through my observation of all the years, like, I've been in the game industry, it's not that I've observed the game industry and the marketing for a long time. I'm quite confident with my opinion. It is still an anecdote. It's not based on evidence or facts, but I've seen companies rise and fall. I've seen games, I've seen trends. I just feel that how I'm seeing things is just how things are going to play off. So this video will be just like my Metal Gear Solid theory. They'll be here. So if the console comes out and everything's true or everything's false, I can look back and think, look at that, I was right about everything, or hey, I was right about 50% of the things. We'll see what happens. But anyways, leave your comment below of what you think, what you agree with, your take on the console. Just like beyond the being civil, if you are a fanboy, keep it to yourself. Please, minimal emotions. Like, people, we have preferences, we have subjective tastes, but if people get offended, that's the end of it. I don't like to deal with emotional people that are, going really berserk and they're offended. They took offense. Oh, you shit talk Nintendo. You're a loser. It's like, I'm not going to put up with it. So keep it civil. Leave your opinion down below. I'm not going to judge. I probably look super tired with my eyes. Okay. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm getting fucking tired. Long day at work. But yeah. I hope you enjoyed this rant, prediction, me talking shit about Nintendo. That's basically it. If you agree with me and disagree, leave in comments below. Thank you for watching. If you actually watched the entirety of this video. If you did, I love you. If you didn't, I don't blame you. But if you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button, become a fluff subscriber, and until the next time.